Hello. Yeah, I just clicked go live. It's loading. Okay, it's live. Yeah. Namaste and good afternoon to everyone. Um, okay, namaste and good afternoon. I'll just wait for another 1 or 2 minutes for people to join and then I'll start sharing. Okay, so hello everyone, my name is Asawari and today I'm going to share with you my life story or my journey till now. I am I'm 21 years right now and I have been an self-directed learner all my life. So I'm going to take this opportunity to share with you my journey and how I have lived a life without degrees. Okay, so let me just start off by first sharing my my life story and then probably going more in deep about what it is to live a life without degree. So I I started off life like everyone else, and went to Montessori school and then a regular school in Bangalore. So I was born in Bangalore, and I started my schooling there, and I was an A plus student, so a very good student, one of the top in the class, the teacher's pet, good in almost all subjects, came very good in exams. So the ideal student, very disciplined, very punctual, would come to school on time. Not ask questions, not interrupt the teacher. So the ideal student that a school looks for. And interestingly, this was the reason my parents took me out of school, because what they thought was that something is wrong. If a person is excelling in all the subjects, if she or she is not questioning anything, she's just, blindly doing things, and I was only learning to answer the exam. So my focus was just answering exams, nothing else, not really learning. So then my parents felt that this is wrong, there's something not proper in the system because of which this is happening. And so they took me out of school. So I was around in the midway of my fifth standard when they decided that this system of education is not working for her, and this is not what they wanted, what kind of a learning space they wanted for me. And so at the age of 10, in the middle of my fifth standard, my parents took me out of school, out of the conventional school, and we begin homeschooling. So I begin my journey of homeschooling, and initially it was kind of homeschooling because it was more of still doing what the school teaches, like still working on subject wise, still focusing on curriculum, but I was at home, and it learning became more activity based, more fun based, and it was no more about exams. So when I started learning at home, it became about wanting to learn, wanting to learn the subject, wanting to understand the concept, and it was more activity based, more fun based. It was no more about answering questions in the exam. So initially that's how my when I stepped out of school, that's how my learning was. And then when my parents felt that they're putting so much effort into bringing a learning environment for me individually, they decided to start a community space, or a community learning space called Arohi in Bangalore. And I was a part of Arohi from the age of 10 to around the age of 17, so around 6-7 years. I was part of Arohi, which is still a learning space for learners. And so initially the learning was still, subject based, but a lot of it was fun learning and activity based learning, and more uh, on my pace. So my pace of learning, so if I'm good at some subject, I would learn faster in that, and um, not so good at one subject, slower. So it was like more focused on subjects. But as my journey of unschooling or homeschooling, whatever the term one wants to use, it progressed. I started moving away from the textbooks, moving away from subject wise learning, moving away from what the curriculum of this age group needs to learn, and started just exploring what I want to do. And slowly, I think it was a transition. It took, but it was a journey. But slowly, my learning started becoming more self-directed, more focused on what I like to do, more focused on. um what are my interests, what do I want to learn right now. And it started becoming more project based learning, so taking up small projects, taking up different things. So for example, at that time we also shifted, so Arohi had a campus in Bangalore, but then we also shifted from Bangalore to a nearby village around 60 kilometers away from Bangalore. My parents set up a campus for Arohi in the village, and so we shifted from there to here. And when we came here, I took up the project of building the community kitchen. So the building I wanted to, so I took up the project, I took the responsibility of it, and did the whole thing, like designing it, figuring. And I decided to use an alternative construction method, which is called Earthbag Construction. So learning how to do Earthbag construction. And so it was me and a friend, so we both together kind of designed it and implemented it. So learning became more project based. So if I want to do this, I do this. So I wanted to do the kitchen project, I did that. I also became the accountant of Arohi, so I took up the job of becoming the accountant because I wanted to explore maths. But I was a person who liked maths when it came to real life application. Just learning concepts out of a textbook is something that does not appeal to me. And so I started doing things like, being the accountant and handling the accounts of Arohi, which not only was something about maths, it was about a lot of other things like responsibility, commitment of finishing the work that was given. And I would really just learn things whenever I wanted to or needed to. For example, there was a time when I became curious about atoms or science, and so by my own choice, I learned it, and I remember learning it completely through seeing videos. Um, and for me, I started breaking the barrier that everything has to be learned from a teacher or everything has to be learned from a textbook. I started learning from videos, from people, and reading books that are not that are not textbooks, but yet you can learn so much from them. So for example, in maths, I started wanting to not maths, sorry, economics. When I wanted to learn economics, I first went to read in the textbook, and when I saw in the textbook, it didn't seem like something very meaningful to learn. And so I reached out to books. So there are people who have written like very nice books on economics, and I started reading these books. And I think this really broadened what learning meant for me. It no more was about textbooks or subjects or teachers, but about really what I wanted to learn. So I spent a large, around 6 to 7 years just doing that, just exploring different concepts, doing small projects. um, I even started, volunteering. So in Bangalore, there's an organization that works for disabled children. And so I went and volunteered with them, and that was a very nice experience to just be there with those children and learn how to work with them, play with them, and things like that. So it I think 6-7 years I did a lot of things, a lot of small things, not very big things. Like every day I would just decide what it is that I want to learn today, what is it that I want to explore today. And one summer I had decided I want to learn a Zentangle art. So I spent a lot of time just looking at Zentangle pictures on the internet and copying them and learning and doing and stuff like that. So it was very much focused on that. And when I came to the age of around 14, 15, and generally that is the age that children start thinking about future, thinking about 10th exam and things like that. So when that age came, then we started having that discussion that now what do you want to take the 10th exam. So for generally for homeschoolers or unschoolers, the one can opt to use the NIOS, which is the National Institute of Open Schooling by the government, where you can take an exam, appear for the 10th and 12th exam, and then further go into college and things like that. So when that discussion started, I realized that I don't know what I want to do. When I thought that, I don't know what is it that I want to pursue. I have no idea what is my passion. I don't know where I want, what are my dreams, where do I want to go. So it was very, I realized that if I don't know, how can I decide what path to take? How can I decide I want to take this exam, I want to choose science or I want to choose arts? I don't see I said that I don't see I can decide right now. And the other thing I felt was that I didn't need it. Like, to imagine that I have to spend a whole year sitting and studying for an exam was not something that I felt I wanted to waste my time in. I felt there's so many things to do, there's so many exciting things to learn. Why would I want to spend, a whole year or why would I want to spend so much time? And so at that time, I decided that I do not want to take my 10th exam right now, because it felt like something that was not, just didn't seem appealing to, do a 10th exam to learn, you appear for something that did not make sense for me. And I think a huge comfort that I had to take in this decision, one was that my parents were very accepting for it. They said, yes, if you don't want to take 10th exam, go ahead and not do it and do whatever you want to do. So that was huge confidence point, that they were ready to give me that space and time to explore what I want to do, and I don't have to take this conventional path of future. And the other thing was that in NIS, the great thing is that you can take a 10th exam at any age. So there's a lower limit, but there's no upper limit. So even if I'm 42 and I decide that I need to appear for a 10th or a 12th examination, I can do that. So that comfort was there, that there is no hurry. There's not that now I'm 15 and 15 is, or 15, 16 is generally the age that children appear for their 10th. So I have to do it right now. That feeling of hurry was not there, and that comforted me a lot to say that right now I don't want to take a 10th exam, because I'm very unclear about how I want to live my life and I don't want to do anything. And also the biggest thing I think for me was the trust I had in myself, that I'm a very capable person. And with the experience of 6 to 7 years of just living life the way I want to, learning what I want to, just exploring that there's so many immense possibilities in life, there's so many ways one can live, one can do, that gave me the trust that, whatever I want to learn, I can. If I want to learn about atoms, I can go and learn about it. If I want to do this, I can do this. So that gave me the trust that, hey, I'll figure it out in future, I'll figure it out. So at that age, I decided that I'm not getting into this and I'm not taking 10th, and or I'm not doing it right now. And I just continued to, explore things that I like, whether it's art or uh, uh, and art, dance. I used to like dancing and, different things. So just continue to do that. And when I was around 16, 17, I started feeling that I wanted to interact with people of my age, and also to kind of go out and explore the possibilities of life even further. And so I took the opportunity through going to Swaraj University. So Swaraj University is a space in Udaipur that has a 2 year self-directed learning program. So they where they offer it for youth. So they're very similar to what my parents run in Arohi, but for the age group of 18 plus kind of. Yeah, and they have a 2 year program which I found very appealing. So I decided to go there and spent 2 years there. So in 2015, when I was around, I think 17 years, I went to Swaraj. And going to Swaraj and doing that 2 year course has been an amazing, enriching learning for me. One of the biggest things for me was to step out of home, because I was always at home, even when we were, I mean, in the learning space, it was my parents, it was my family, so it was my community, so it was a big comfort zone to be around people that I know, that I'm comforted with. So I felt like I want to, step out of this comfort zone and see what happens. And so that is the biggest, one of the biggest things that happened for me. So that when I went out to Swaraj University, the experience of living independently, the experience of traveling alone for the first time, because I live in Bangalore and Swaraj was up there in Udaipur. So that experience of going there, making new friends, adjusting to a new concept, new space, that was a big transition. And somewhere I feel this experience of stepping out of home and going there really helped me to, create my own identities, figure out who I really am. Because when I went to a place which was not comfortable, I had to, figure out who I am, what is my personalities, where do I stand in life, and things like that. So it was really a big experience for me to become more independent, and identify myself. And the structure of the 2 year program is such that we spend some time as a community, as a batch, at the Udaipur campus doing different processes, where that those processes are really helpful to connect with yourself, connect with community, figure out what your interests are, what your dreams are. And that was very beautiful for me, because in the 2 years I was able to more deepen what my interests were, and I was able to figure out where do my passions lie, what are my dreams, what is it that I really want to do. And what I did understand is that I had majorly interest in three areas. One is environmental sustainability. So I realized that I got the interest of environmental sustainability, the different issues that are there in the planet, whether it's climate change, plastic pollution, a lot of different issues are existing in today in when it comes to environment. So I felt very passionate about that. So that was is still one of a big interest. And the other area that I identified was in education or facilitation. So that I like to facilitate, I like to work with children, with youth, and I like to host and understand education and things like that. So that was the second interest. And the third was art. So I like art, and for me art is not, it's more like a space of self expression, and art is more like doing and sharing that art with others. And so this was the major three areas that I, through my exploration in the 2 years, identified that these are my major areas of interest. And in that the more deeper one that I want to explore was environmental sustainability. And also what happened was, this in Swaraj the structure is such that you do internships. So you go out to work with different organizations and you stay with them and you do internships based on your interest area. And that was a very interesting experience, because I thought I had a dream that I want to open a cafe. So I went in Pune to a cafe called Pagdandi, and I stayed there for some time and I worked as a volunteer in their cafe and got a first time experience of what does it mean to actually run a cafe. So that internship was very interesting for me, because I enjoyed it a lot, but in the end I realized that this is not actually what I want to do. I think I'm more passionate about other things, and though running a cafe is a very interesting, fun thing, that is not something I want to do. And in the second year of Swaraj, we took up projects. So even in I took up a project of spreading awareness of environmental sustainability, because I said, okay, if my passion is environmental sustainability, let's see what I can do about it. And I decided, I started an initiative called Life Beyond Development, which mainly is that through workshops with children, through workshops with youth, I wanted to kind of spread the understanding that what is happening, how on a systemic level we are destroying the planet, how the systems of our education system, of our the whole system of development right now, the whole economic model, the whole system of development is focused on consumerism, is focused on more, and is not is it's not giving us the happiness we need, is not giving us the success. So kind of like questioning the whole system, questioning the definition of development, happiness, success. So this kind of a thing, I created a module and a workshop, and in my second year, along with a friend, we did workshops with children and with youth. And it was wonderful to, like, I had an idea to go and implement that, because that was like an amazing feedback loop, to actually go out and work with children, work with youth, do the workshops, see how people are responding to it, how it is happening. That feedback loop was wonderful. So in my second year, I was able to really work on my interest and deepen that what does environmental sustainability actually mean. I spent a long time, or a lot of time, in research, understanding, and things like that. And I think through these 2 years that I was there at Swaraj, I got a huge confidence that I do not need any degree. So Swaraj does not give any degree. It's called Swaraj University, but they're a degree-less course. So when I went there, and when I started exploring my passion, when I started implementing it in small ways through workshops and different things, I realized that I can do whatever I want to do. Whatever passion I have, I can do it, and I can deepen it and move it ahead and move along in my life through those passions, and I do not need to get any degree. I mean, and that's when I was very happy that I decided at the age of 15 that no, I don't want to take 10th, and I said, this is great. I just want to live a degree less life, because I don't need a piece of paper to tell me who I am. I already know that, and I know I have the capabilities, I have the strength, everything I have in me, and the society has everything for me to go ahead and do what I want to do and live life the way I want to, rather than having to fit into some structure of anything. And so, after Swaraj, when my 2 years course was complete in 2017, I even though I did figure out my interest, I did deepen my passion, I was still not very clear about what I want to do. How do I want to take this into the, how do I want to manifest this into my work? I was still uh, I didn't have anything concrete. I did do small things like take workshops in my second year and all, but there was nothing concrete. And so for around 2 years, I just spent further exploring my interests, further doing small things. For some time, I was at Swaraj itself, so even after I graduated, I spent some time as a facilitator there, because I enjoy facilitating, working with youth, working with children. So I decided to try that out. So for some time, I was a facilitator for my junior batch at Swaraj, and then I came back home and did some things here, small things. Just, there was a lot of times when I was very confused, very unsure. There were times when I would question that, what am I doing in life? Where are things going? But I think I needed that time and space to figure out myself. So for 2 years, I just, just didn't really go through this. Okay, what happened? Okay, I don't know why the video is not playing. Mm, let me refresh this. I just wanted to check, can people see the Video, I mean, I think there's some issue I'm facing. I'm not able to. Can people hear me or what is it? Okay. Okay, I think people can hear me, but I think there's some issue with my video. Anyway, let me continue. Oh, okay, you can see, but okay, sorry. There's some trouble with my side, but I'll continue. So I was saying that I just I took 2 years almost, kind of just exploring and figuring out what my interests are, where I started doing small things, but I was not satisfied with what I was doing. And I think in that flow of exploration, in the flow of understanding, I figured out that no, I really want to work on environmental sustainability and how can I manifest that. And so in May 2019, I started an initiative called Dhanak. So, Dhanak is an initiative where I focus on exploring the possibility of natural personal care. So, I started making and selling natural personal care products like tooth powder, lip balm, hair wash powder, bath powder. My objective was to really take the age old recipes that we used in our grandmother's times without toxic ingredients, which were completely natural ingredients connected to the earth. So I formulated recipes and I started selling these, and for me it was not just about selling, it was more about really introducing the possibility. It is still more about introducing the possibility of natural personal care to people, because when I did my research in different aspects, in environmental sustainability, I was really moved by the fact that there's so many toxic ingredients in our commercial, shampoos and soaps and all, and that was really disturbing for me. And so when I started personally switching to natural alternatives, I realized that I can share what I'm doing in my own life to people through products, and also by helping them make their own. So sharing recipes and just really helping, and that was amazing. So for me to start my own business as an entrepreneur has been an amazing journey, because I didn't know anything. I mean, I don't know anything about how to start a business, how to what does it mean to sell something, what does it mean to do anything like that. And I just started using social media to talk about it and spread awareness about my business. And it is a completely self-directed experience, and what has been amazing is that uh, it has been such a big learning journey for me, just to small things. Okay, how do I package a product, how do I package it in such a way that it's not harming the planet, yet it's an efficient is an efficient product to customers. And since this was a live project where I was actually manifesting my work into the world, naturally there was a huge feedback loop. When customers used to come and consume, my customers will talk to me, give me feedback, then I was improving. And everything, simple things like how do you create a visiting card, how do you price your product, how do you market on social media. These small things have been such an amazing learning journey for me. I mean, the initial 6 months, I remember I've been super busy, super involved in starting the business, because there was so much for me to learn, so much for me to do, and everything was driven by so much passion that me not having a degree or me not knowing what I was doing did not stop me at all. It was just, I just kept doing, kept trying, kept failing, making mistakes. There were times when the customer would get a parcel with where the packet is torn or there's some issue, and okay, what is the problem, let's see what happens. And I met a lot of inspiring people, and a lot of people who I found a lot of mentors who supported me. Like, I found a mentor who helped me to really understand how to make natural personal products more deeper, so go into the science and the whole chemistry of how let's say oils work on our skin and how things like that. And it I think for me, I also started exploring what does money mean to me, what does profit mean to me. So I learned accounting, even though I did accounts previously also, but I think just I started uh, understanding how does business accounts look, and my father helped me, my mother helped me, so I had a lot of support. And I don't know, it was just it has been such an amazing journey in Dhanak, because I've been able to manifest my passion into the world and do something, and that gave me a lot of satisfaction to know, to be able to do something, um, to be able to contribute to people, and at the same time, feel very fulfilled within myself. So since last year I have been doing that, been for doing Dhanak, and doing a lot of different things. And this year, when the whole coronavirus thing happened and lockdown started, of course the business paused, I mean the selling part paused. And when that happened, I wanted to see, now what do I want to do, where do I want to go. And so for me right now, what my life journey is taking to me is that I have started exploring my spiritual journey, or whatever. I started exploring the spiritual side of me, so yoga, meditation, and also kind of understanding who I am, so that dimension of myself. And in the last year also I have started doing a lot of things like that. And so this year I decided that I want to do an 8-month course called Sadhana Pada in the Isha Yoga Center in Coimbatore. So Sadhguru offers a course called Sanapada, which is an 8-month residential course at the Isha Yoga Center. So in May, I decided that that's what I want to do this year, and it was supposed to start actually on July 3rd, but unfortunately, due to the COVID situation, it has been postponed, and so that is why I'm sitting at home. But otherwise, that this is something that I want to explore. Just take 8 months out of my life and explore my spiritual dimension. Go more within and see what things are, and explore that side of me. And so which means that I have kind of, so in on June 15th I paused my business. So I stopped the selling of Dhanak, and kind of closed that production side down. And because I think one of the biggest things I realized for me is that life for me is about living in the now. It's about, and I really, my dream in life is to just live consciously, just live joyfully, and however that manifests, it's fine. So I'm not so attached to Dhanak as a business that this is what I want to do. So if right now I feel like, no, I want to explore, I want to do this course, then let's do it. So that has always, I think, been my attitude, that go with the flow, do whatever it is that you want to do, continue doing that, and stuff like that. And also, when lockdown started, it has been so great that I have got an opportunity. I think for me, lockdown has been amazing, because I've got an opportunity to do so many things. Because for the last 1 year, I was so busy in Dhanak. Now the selling stopped because of lockdown, and then later I only closed it down. So I have had these last 3-4 months where I've done so many things. Like, I explored online volunteering, so I was so disturbed by what was happening with the migrant workers. They were not getting, support, and so I wanted to do something for them. And so I worked with an NGO, and I started doing online volunteering, and that took up a lot of time, but it was so fulfilling, it was so engaging, and it was a big learning experience to understand how the whole how the whole system is working, what are the struggles of the migrant workers, how is the lockdown affecting them, and all of that. And at this also, I am a flow game host, which is a tool that helps people to gain clarity and flow in their life. So since Dana closed down, I was able to open up all these possibilities, and I've been more, it's not like lockdown has affected me. I've been so busy, because I think for me, life is just about learning, just about doing whatever it is there in my hand. And it has been so fun. I've done so much art, I've done so much things. In the last some time, I have gone back to my passion about environmental sustainability, since the volunteering work was over. And so I realized that I don't want to limit Dhanak to just selling products. So why not do something more? So I've started spreading the possibility of natural personal care, spreading the possibility of sustainable living. Like in July I'm running a campaign called Plastic Free July. So through so I've realized that there's so many possibilities, there's so many things to do. So there's no need of a degree. I mean, there's just no need for me to do be, I don't need a paper to tell me who I am, because anytime anything I want to learn right now, I can learn it. And it's not just me, anybody in this world, if they want to learn something, if they want to do anything, they can go ahead and do it. It can take time, it can take time to learn, it can take time to figure out. Of course there will be a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles, but what I have learned is that life is not about earning money, life is not about a job, life is not about the definition of success, of having a big house, a big family, a big car. That is not what life is about. For me, I have realized that life is so much about just living, just being joyful, just enjoying what's happening right now, and doing that. And in that, of course, family comes, relationships come, friends come, community comes. But who am I right now? Exploring that and doing that has what has really happened. And that is why I think not being stuck in any structure has given me this possibility to do that. And I just also wanted to say, I'm not against degrees. It's not like I want to say that everybody in the world should not get a degree, not to attend. But I think that this is a path that I have chosen for myself. And what I really want to share with you today is that there is a possibility if we start looking at life as possibility. So degree is one path, but there are so many other paths. There are so many other ways that one can take, one can do. And I get this question that don't you worry about your money, don't you worry about earning, don't you worry about jobs. But I think especially now in the COVID situation, we should really realize that these things do not define our life. Job and education or degrees do not at all give us security about this. I think the biggest security that we can give ourselves is within ourselves, by telling ourselves that we are capable, we are confident, we can figure out ourselves through whatever things. Okay, so I think this has been my personal experience, this has been my life journey, and I feel that just exploring the possibility of living without degrees has been very enriching for me personally. So I would like to know if anyone has any questions or any thoughts. I'll now look into the comments box because I haven't read that. Okay. ओके मैंने अभी रियलाइज किया कि मैंने पूरा इंग्लिश में बात किया, मैं माफी चाहती हूँ उसके लिए. मेरा हिंदी इतना फ्लुएंट नहीं है, मैं जब ऐसी चीजें पर बात करती तो इंग्लिश ज्यादा आसानी से बोली जाती है मुझसे, इसलिए मैंने पूरा इंग्लिश में ही बात किया होगा. तो अगर अभी किसी को कुछ सवाल है तो मैं अभी हिंदी में आंसर कर सकती हूँ. आई थिंक पवन कुमार ने पूछा है कि where there is no curriculum, would it mean total cut off from the factual, reliable, documented historical works done in the area and jumping to individuals fiction and non-fiction stuff? तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि स्कूल्स में रह के हम बहुत लिमिट हो जाते हैं कि लर्निंग क्या है. इट इज ओनली मैथ्स, साइंस, chemistry. It becomes very limiting and it's not connected to our real life. But in history, all of this becomes like something that you have to learn and mug up. But when you are a self-directed learner, when you are learning in an open space, when you're learning just about life, then I think ये सब जो subjects है, they become more connected to your life. And I love history, I love reading history, I love reading anything, but I don't think I have any less knowledge than any other child who has, let's say, gone through an education system. So I think in schools the subjects become very constraining, while when you're an open learner, your your vision, your perspective of life really expands. And I would say that knowing history is not important, but knowing how to live life is more important. And when you know how to live life, naturally understanding history, understanding math, understanding science can all come very naturally in life. Anyway, basic skills you need, right? Basic calculation math you need if you need to buy something from the market. Basic communication skills you need. So these basic skills anyway come through to any person who would naturally learn it, and then further whatever interests you have, you will go more deeper in that. Okay. In some cases, degrees are important. Imagine going to a self-proclaimed doctor without a degree. Degree have their place. So पर्सनली आई वुड, मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में मैंने ये देखा है कि डिग्री से ज्यादा काम इम्पोर्टेंट है. मैं आपको एक चीज बोलती हूँ, अगर आप एक कंपनी या आप एक कंपनी हो, आप एक कंपनियों की सीईओ या एचआर हो, और आपको एक किसी को हायर करना है, और दो लोग आए, एक जन जिसने सबसे बड़ी डिग्री की है, उनको सब कुछ आता है, उन्होंने बड़ी डिग्री की है, एंड द सेकंड पर्सन कम जिनको बहुत पैशन है, जैसे कि जिनको बहुत पैशन है उस काम के लिए, जिन्होंने बहुत कुछ किया है, जिनको बहुत कुछ आता है, then who will you hire as a individual? Who will you go to? Will you go to somebody who is more passionate, who knows what he's doing, who loves what he's doing, rather, or would you go to somebody who has a degree but doesn't enjoy it that much? I think, and especially some people say like things like doctors, architects, you have to have a degree, which is true. Yes, if you want to become a conventional allopathic doctor, right now there is no system in place but to be a degree-less doctor. But I think that the world is changing. लोग को समझ में आ रहा है कि डिग्री की कोई कम इम्पोर्टेंस है, और इंडिविजुअल स्किल की, इंडिविजुअल पैशन की ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस है. एंड पर्सनली मुझे लोग पता है जो आर्किटेक्ट्स है, जो हीलर्स है, जो डॉक्टर्स है, जिनके पास इतना पैशन है, जिनके पास इतना नॉलेज है, पर उनके पास डिग्री नहीं है, पर वो बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे मेरे दो दोस्त हैं जो आर्किटेक्ट है. इनफैक्ट एक ने आर्किटेक्चर कॉलेज में डिग्री भी किया है, पर उनको वो डिग्री बिल्कुल यूजलेस लगती है. एंड दे बोथ आर्किटेक्ट्स. उनका अर्थ बिल्डिंग करके नाम है, एंड दे डू नेचुरल बिल्डिंग. दे बिल्ड हाउसेज अक्रॉस द कंट्री, इंडिया के अलग अलग जगहों में. एंड दे हैव, उनके पास इतना नॉलेज है, इतना हैंड्स ऑन स्किल है. अगर आप उनकी पोर्टफोलियो देखो, इतने सुंदर घर बनाए कि आप उनको पूछोगे ही नहीं कि आपके पास आर्किटेक्ट डिग्री है कि नहीं. आप रादर उनके पोर्टफोलियो देख के, उनका काम देख के, उनका पैशन देख के आप बोलोगे हाँ आप मेरा घर बना दीजिए, क्योंकि उनके पास वो नॉलेज है. And same I think goes for doctors, engineers, everybody. It is more about their skill, about their passion, their portfolio, rather than degree. I think I will go to a doctor who is passionate about healing, who has a knowledge about healing. I will not ask him whether you have a degree or not. I will rather want to know if he is willing to heal me, if he is willing to care for me. एंड आई थिंक व्हेन यू स्टार्ट कॉन्शियस लाइफ जीने लगते हैं, तो हम खुद ही रियलाइज करने लगते हैं कि हर चीज एक डिग्री की जरा ही नहीं. एंड लॉट ऑफ ऑल्टरनेटिव हीलर्स लाइक होम्योपैथी, आयुर्वेदिक, all kind of alternative healing people, not everyone has degrees, but they have the knowledge and the skill, which is more important. Do you ever think of sitting for an exam at any point in your life? No, I think personally I will never want to sit for an exam, but not sitting for an exam doesn't mean I don't want to do courses or I don't want to learn things. So if people, but I don't think I need an exam to assess me. I say life is the most beautiful and biggest exam that we have. If you start living life, naturally जो challenges आएंगे, जो failures आएंगे, जो mistakes होंगे, वो automatically एक feedback loop की तरह आपको help करेंगे to grow as a person, to make life better and things like that. And you don't need an exam to tell you who you are. You just live life and you will naturally explore and understand who you are. Okay. Let me see if do you have any specific spiritual inclination towards any specific religion? So I don't know what spirituality is, honestly. मैं still figure out कर रही हूँ इसका क्या मतलब होता है. पर मैं इतना कह सकती हूँ कि मेरे लिए कोई रिलीजन, इट्स नॉट, मेरे लिए रिलीजन अभी इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, पर हाँ मैं सदगुरु को फॉलो करती हूँ। मैं ईशा फाउंडेशन के वट एवर, मैं आई एम अ मेडिटेटर और मैं उसको फॉलो करती हूँ, पर आई थिंक इट्स नॉट, एंड आई एम एक्सप्लोरिंग दैट डायमेंशन। बट स्पिरिचुअलिटी मेरे लिए ये है कि मैं खुद को और अच्छे से जानूँ, मैं कौन हूँ, उस डायमेंशन को ज्यादा डीपर अंडरस्टैंड करूँ। सो it is not so much to do with religion. ओके, कुछ लास्ट अगर एक दो क्वेश्चन है तो उसके बाद हम क्लोज कर सकते हैं। अह, जलपा शाह ने कमेंट किया दैट फॉर दिस पेरेंट्स कंट्रीब्यूशन इज नेसेसरी। तो डेफिनेटली यस, पेरेंट्स एंड फैमिली members being a part of this journey is very important and very good. But I think even if you don't have your parents contribution, you can ask for it, uh, you can bring them into your journey, because in the end every parent wants their child's happiness. That is the most important thing for anybody. um, if you had to go through the self-paced learning without Arohi, how would your journey be? So there are a lot of individual children, individual families who are doing open learning or unschooling, who don't really use a structure like Arohi but have created their own structures. So I'm sure I all it is possible. It is possible because it's just about living life and learning and doing. The morning you get up and do what you want to do today, do what you are interested in today, and naturally, things will go ahead. Okay, so I think I it's almost 12:50 also, so I would like to kind of come to an end, and I see that there are not any more questions either. So थैंक यू सो मच सबको यहाँ मेरे मेरे साथ आने के लिए और मेरी मेरी बात सुनने के लिए, एंड I hope all of you have a good day and continue to live life as a learner no matter what your age, because every one of us is capable, every one of us is unique, and everyone is beautiful. So thank you so much everyone. Namaskar.